Welcome to Homeschool PH podcast, where we'll talk about what really matters most in our homeschooling journey. Today's episode is really special in my heart. This is a unique experience for me because I'm going to interview my youngest daughter. Okay. Because she just graduate her homeschooling journey siguro mga 3 weeks ago. And kung nag-graduate na po siya, nag-graduate na rin po ako sa homeschool parent. Oh, I'm so senti. But anyway, in this episode, we will talk about ano ba ang journey, a confession of a homeschool graduate. Ano bang journey ng anak ko? And she will share her stories, answer some questions, and provide insights into her own homeschooling journey. So join us as we explore the triumphs, the challenges, and everything in between. Without further ado, may I introduce to you, I'm so proud of my youngest daughter, who is now grade 12 in Faith Academy. And now, can I say, a pre-professional ballerina of Axe Manila, Destiny Beyonce Tan. Hello, Destiny. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Very busy.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here, ha. I know na ang dami mo nang ginagawa. Nagbabali ka na, pumapasok ka pa sa conventional school. But anyway, in this podcast, our goal is to be able to share to the parents kung ano nga ba, worth it nga ba tong homeschooling journey? And maybe you could really tell them your honest experience about, I think you have homeschool for almost what? 18 years, no? Is it 18 years? Or there's 2 years pala na conventional school ka, tama anak?
It was during the pandemic though, so
Yeah, during the pandemic. Okay, maybe you could be able to share to us what are some of your memorable experiences or unforgettable moments during your homeschool years.
well, there's a lot to mention. Unforgettable moment, I think, is the fact that I was able to learn and study about learn and study homeschool while I was abroad because I would go to different museums with my mom, or we would watch shows or plays together, and then she would use those type of experiences for me to study about. So I would write essays about them or reflection papers, and it was something memorable for me because not everyone gets to have that opportunity to do that and to be able to learn through that experience. So that was one of my most memorable.
Okay, thank you so much, Destiny, for that. Yeah, our trips are so nice. Those are really memorable, especially we always integrate homeschooling and then doing Bali at the same time, no? In specifically in the US, no, anak? That is also a good experience to me. But to be honest, no, because this is naman no filter conversation and I want our audience to really learn from you as well. If there's any challenges being homeschooled, how did you overcome them?
The biggest challenge for me was time management, especially when it became high school. That's why I had to start doing conventional school during my high school years because starting the end of middle school, I wasn't able to manage my time well, especially with all of the dance, especially with my dance schedule was very busy. So I think the biggest struggle for me was actually doing the subjects and managing my time to do them. How was I able to overcome it? I was able to overcome it through through willpower. Just push, as in there's no, I don't think there's a formula on how to do it. I think it depends on every single person, but maybe some tips, or you can time yourself for each subject. Make sure somebody keeps you accountable that you're actually doing your work. That one really helped me. Someone keeps reminding me to do my work because you in homeschool you tend to avoid the subjects you don't like because no one's there to look after you. It's only you.
Haha.
The thing. So it teaches you to be independent, but at the same time, it's hard because there's not that much accountability, which is why you need to find someone like your mom or your counselor from homeschool to help you keep track.
Wow. Thank you for being honest, no? So we tackle a little bit of your personal homeschool experience, but let's go to academics or what we call curriculum. During your homeschool journey, is there a memorable academic experience or curriculum that you think was matches your own learning style? If there's any that doesn't match you, can you share that as well?
Uh, I don't think there was anything that did didn't match me from what you gave me. It was more of like I didn't like the subject itself. Uh, for example, anything with science, I didn't like. It's not because the curriculum was bad itself. I just didn't like the subject. So I already had the predisposed notion about it, and I just didn't like the subject itself. But then for curriculums that worked for me, I think the writing one. I don't know what's called. The you remember that the writing.
Yeah, what's the writing? You forgot na ba? Madami tayong writing eh.
No, the one with the videos.
The one with the videos. Hmm. What is that specific? I forgot na.
So all
Is
the
that
I
writing
don't.
road to reading? Is that what you mean?
It's like you. There was a teacher that instead of having like a tutor, the tutor was a video. So I would watch videos, and then it would give me assignments, and then I was able to write stories through that.
Oh,
Or even a
I
fiction
know what
drama.
you mean. Now I got it. Yes. Kasi sa dami ng ginamit natin. But I think what you're saying is the Institute of Excellence in Writing.
Yeah,
That is
that's the one.
IEW. Oh, what is your good
Yeah,
experience there? Can you expound that,
it gave
anak?
me a good foundation in writing, like because it would give me, oh, you have to reach these certain benchmarks or these certain standards so that you can be able to create your story. And because it was repetitive and repetitive, it helped ingrain in me. So like when I came back to conventional school, it came naturally. Yeah. I think what's good for me is that when it's repetitive. I like
Yeah.
it when it's repetitive.
Yeah.
The whether it's whether it's equations, grammar, anything anything for studying, I think what's good for me is repetitive learning because
Yeah.
it makes me understand what's happening.
Okay, now that you mentioned that, maybe you could be able to share what type of a learner are you? Did you grow ba or you think that 'di ba I always give you like an assessment on how you'll be able to discover your learning style. Do you remember that? I think I gave you
Yeah.
that like every 2 years, no? But do you think it changed now that in your grade 12? Did you
Yeah.
did you grow in that pace in your life? I know that you like repetitive instructions. But then again, do you think that you still like that now? Or did you grow on that? Can you share a little bit on that level? Because parents are listening right now. Sometimes they're having a hard time connecting with their child because they don't know what is the right way to be able to teach their kids. And you know, in our homeschooling, we always do that meeting where your child is. So did you grow like for example, anak, 'di ba we talk about being audio, visual, kinesthetic, or sometimes we are combined. So can you expound on that level, your experience? Did you grow since you were a child comparing with what you have right now?
Uh when I first started, when you taught me that the different styles of learning, oh, you can be visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or yeah, when you taught me those the five senses or something, that's how you learn. I thought that I was mostly dominantly visual, But then as time grew on, I actually learned this through dance, not from school. As time grew on, I realized that I'm a kinesthetic learner. I'm not actually a visual learner. I enjoy watching things and I get intrigued, like it catches my attention. But when it comes to comprehending things, it's not visual. Yeah. So what before I used to think, oh, since like I'm a visual learner, I'll be able to understand what's going on. But I realized that when I studied with my mom, she would read audibly and then I would read with her and that helped me. So that it's not I think there were a bunch of times where I thought like, oh, initially thought that I'm a visual, but yun pala, it was like visual mixed with auditory at the same time because it doesn't need to be one thing. You can mix two senses together and be able to help your child learn. But as of now, I realized that I'm a kinesthetic learner, not really a visual learner or they call it. I think though it helps putting a bunch of different senses together to help your child be stimulated and interested in what they're learning, especially because you're in homes doing homeschool because you're staying at home, so children sometimes tend to get bored because you're just at home. So yeah, I think you have to be more creative when it comes to teaching your child. I mean, you don't have to necessarily do that. You can discover what your child is good at, but some recommendation I would say is to be more creative. It doesn't have to be something so holistic. You can just be you can do creative ways to be able to teach your child to improve.
If you're gonna go back, is there something that you think um, you wish that your parents did or me that I was able to do a method to be able to, approach that we should do or should not do? Or are you satisfied with the education that you receive from us?
I think one thing I would have liked is less jumping around curriculum because I don't even remember what curriculums I did because there's so many I did. I think at the same time it was a good thing because I was exposed to a lot of different styles, but it kind of confused me. It kind of confused me. That's one thing. Maybe stick to one curriculum I'm doing. You can always change at any time, but it's just that for me it was kind of confusing. And then uh I don't think there was anything else. I enjoyed my formative years of homeschooling, so there wasn't anything that I'd say was I disliked. Yeah. Mhm.
It's true, you are in a season before that you really like structure. So I still remember na kahit na ano binibigay ko sa yung curriculum, you receive it, no? And you don't have any complaint about it. But thank you for being honest. Now we need to stick on it. Yes. So listen, ha, mga parents. You have to stick. But I also realized that you really have to meet where your child is. You need to go on that end that no matter what, you can let your kids be involved as well, no? Na you could ask them, is that right, Desti? If that works for them or doesn't work for them. Especially pag medyo matatanda na yung mga anak natin. Siyempre, we're still gauging what is really right for them. So thank you for being honest on that end. Now, anak, are you satisfied on how we handle evaluations or assessments?
I think the one that the biggest assessment we did was the ALSAT, right? Every year. ALSAT, right? Is it called? That's the one. I think you stay there for you get tested for 4 hours or more than 4 hours, and you stay in one place and you do all different subjects. And I think that's the one that helped me. Even though I was in homeschool, it helped me remember that, oh, because in conventional schools you always have tests, right? You have exams, and then like one of the taboo things that a lot of people says, "Oh, homeschoolers are not good at tests because they don't have the same method that conventional students do." But I think that as long as you do the annual assessment, and grade it, if the grade is good from that, I think it's already fine. In my opinion, I would say that the annual assessment is crucial or critical for me because that was what it culminized my whole school year. Of course, I had like tests, like tiny tests in between, but it wasn't stressful for me. The big stressful thing was the all set at the end of the year. But I think that one really helped me remember. Oh, there's still like outside assessment that I have to accomplish.
Okay, just to explain what is ALSAT, was Destiny was saying, this is the Otis Lennon School Ability Test. I'm not sure if other schools are still, have this kind of assessment. But if you want to check it out, you can check it out, I think, in Homeschool Global, if they still have that. And I'm sure there also some homeschool group also is doing this as well. This is the Otis Lennon um, ability test, which measure reasoning skills and several types of verbal and cognitive, no, figural quantitative reasoning question. Ang maganda po rito, no, it's designed to assess a child's performance across a wide variety of reasoning skill set. So, ang maganda dito, Des, di ba, it's not only academics, but your attitude during the test itself.
Yeah.
So, it's really nice, and other moms are doing this every other year, but kami, we choose to do it every year. So, I'm glad that you also like that as well, no? Um,
I like
Something that you could be able to look forward to and be able to say, okay. And then you also be able to evaluate yourself at the end of the year. So if you're interested with this, you can check it out. This is a verbal, and there's a lot of verbal and non-verbal section. And actually, it's really nice because they also gauge your reading ability, and then they will measure kung anong level mo na of your reading ability, etc., etc. So if you want this, you can DM me and be able to share to you what is really in it. So now we talk about personal experiences, academics, and curriculum. Now let's talk about socialization. Ayan, anak. Di ba there's always an issue of how socialization is really, parang sinasabi nila na pag homeschool ka, it's hard to socialize. But in your experience, how is socialization in your homeschool journey? Do you think you're satisfied with it, with your social life during the homeschooling years? And what were some benefits and challenges that you have encountered so that our audience and listeners can relate to it?
I didn't have any struggle with my socialization because my mom, she put me into groups. Okay, she put me into dance, which is already something out of home. She put me into dance, like an extracurricular, maybe it can be taekwondo, soccer, anything of those types of, like, if they find their niche, she put me into something like that. And then she also made me do MAPE, which is called Music, Arts, and PE. And a bunch of homeschoolers, they came together in one house or a school, and they, it's kind of like a mini school, but for math, art, and PE. So left, I didn't feel awkward at all when I transitioned back to conventional school because everything felt normal to me. It wasn't something, I wasn't awkward in any situation I was in. And I think something I noticed is that when I was homeschooled, I actually became more confident when I was speaking to adults. Um, I feel like homeschool helped me become more mature. uh, I tend to go to people who are older than my age actually. because of that. I think it helped me become more grounded in who I am as a person. I know that some people struggled with being able to socialize, but for in my own journey, I didn't because I had church, I had dance, I had that mape, like I said a while ago. And yeah, I think I just encourage parents to put their children in groups or join a community of homeschoolers that will help your child grow for socialization and for because it's important to interact with human beings. You cannot avoid human beings. And you encounter them every single day of your life. So I think it's essential that you put your child into classes like that. Even if it's not a community per se, you can put them in classes like art classes that you find in a mall or anything. So yeah.
Thank you for that, Destiny. So, on that end, wala ka bang naging ano, yung parang challenge in terms of they have a certain mindset about homeschoolers? Do you have encountered certain groups like that or people like that? And you said, "Oh, I'm homeschooled." Have you encountered like that?
I don't think they've ever said it to me outright, but I feel like I
Yes.
can see it in their face. Like, oh, you're homeschooling. Like this is there's this prejudice already, like, oh, she must be kind of weird or something because she's a homeschooler. But no one has told me outright, thankfully. No one has verbally told it to me. But I know that some people think that homeschool was very, very strange. But now, when the pandemic came, it became something normal. So
Hmm.
it's not something I'd worry about anymore. Actually, I never really worried about it. I found it fun because I was able to focus on the things that I like in the first place.
So, anak, did you have a hard time during the pandemic?
So,
Why? Why do you think so?
um, teaching myself was something I did ever since I was young. Well, except my mom was there. Obviously, she's teaching me. But like, um, being independent in your own teaching without having your teacher to push you and to do your work was something I could do by myself already. And I think that's why homeschoolers kind of thrived during the pandemic because they're like, oh, it's the same thing that I used to do. So no problem. That's how I felt.
Okay. In your homeschool experience, do you think it helped you in your own personal choices? Because especially in your own personal development, your growth. Because you choose to dance, you choose to do ballet, isn't it? In a big percent of your homeschooling journey. Do you think it helped you? Or you think na um, if you're gonna go back in time, you would ask your parents to do conventional school instead?
Our plan was to do conventional school during ninth grade already, but that didn't work out because of the pandemic. And I think that would have been the perfect time to put me in, which you tried, but everyone was stuck at home. I don't think there was anything I would want to change because you already planning out what I would have done for myself. So it's just because the pandemic was in the way that it wasn't able to be possible. But I'm glad that you pushed me to do the senior year, even though I didn't want to do it in the first.
So would
I
you
didn't
think,
realize the
yeah,
that.
would you think if you're not homeschooled, you weren't able to do, I mean, dance that you want to do? Or hindi mo magagawa yon? Or even if you're in conventional, you can still do it?
I wouldn't have improved as much. I could still do it, but then I wouldn't have been where I am today if I didn't have time. Because it gives you time.
Yes. Grabe, very essential talaga yung time. So, this is my last few questions to you. What advice or encouragements would you give to parents who are currently homeschooling their kids?
Be open minded. Be open minded. Don't stick to one path. it's okay to stray away and even come back if you want to, because every person learns in a different way.
Mm.
Um, don't feel pressured to follow somebody's route, because everyone has their own different route and journey. Um, make sure that your child is also staying account, like make sure your child is still being, it's the word, being focused on what their work is, because that, I think that's one of the hardest struggles for a student in homeschool, is being focused and doing their work. Make sure they're focused, and then help them find what they love to do and enjoy, because not everyone has that opportunity to be with their parents the whole year. most most kids leave their children. I mean, most kids leave their parents every single morning and they don't see them until night. So I think that's what's good with homeschool. You get to be together as a family, the whole thing.
So Destiny, now because um you are in a journey and in a way that you are going to graduate hopefully by the end of the year, which is December, and we call it early grad. Um and you are looking forward to that, you know, for next year, or where are you going to go, what college are you going to go? What what are your your aspiration or your dreams, or what are you looking forward to that?
What am I looking forward to after college? I mean, after high school?
Yeah,
Is that
after
the
high school.
question? I'm looking forward to being able to grow as a person, as a human being, because I think when I transition going out of high school, that's when I will have to start being an individual, as an independent individual in this world, because it pushes me to become an adult already. I'll become an adult. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm excited about. It's scary though. It's scary. I know, like, there's a lot of responsibilities that we will be put upon me, but I'm excited to see where that will take me.
Oh,
Takes time.
yes. Thank you so, it's a luxury of time, no? And if you think, well, if God will give you the opportunity to get married, will you still homeschool?
Yeah. Yeah, but I think I would end up putting them the same way as me, as in I would put them in a conventional school for high school, because
Okay.
I can't teach that way.
Ganun ba yun? Okay. Thank you for being honest, Destiny. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us here in iHomeschool PH podcast, the confession of a homeschool graduate. So we hope that you enjoyed hearing the unique stories and experiences of my daughter, no? And make sure to subscribe to our podcast, iHomeschool PH podcast, and our future episodes. And I hope this episode was really insightful for you. If you have any question or suggestion for future episodes, feel free to reach to us. Until next time, always remember that in homeschooling, relationship is more important than academics. Ako po si Novi Antan, your homeschool coach, and I homeschool. God bless you. Thank you, Destiny.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.